now for the exciting possibilities of decolonizing education and nourishing the learning spirit. It starts with the land. That connection to the land is so vital for all Indigenous people. What I've learned from this experience is that though we've done some good work in Indigenous education, we can do better. But the issue is that it's the systems that require so much work to be done. I would like to thank my friend who shared with me some sacred medicines. And basically, I want to acknowledge that it is these traditions that are really a huge part of moving forward in terms of reclamation of language and culture. I'm going to start with the wampum belt. Now this is the dish with one spoon, wampum. And what it represents is that everyone has a seat at the table, but everyone needs to work collaboratively to move forward. From Baptiste's text, I wanted to think about how important it is for the teacher to cede power and encourage the lived experiences of their students, and the importance of storytelling. I also want to point out how Canadian educational institutions need to view elders, knowledge keepers, and workers who are competent in Aboriginal language and knowledge as living educational treasures. Next, I would like to move on to the sweetgrass. So the sweetgrass, to the Anishinaabe people, it is the sacred hair of Mother Earth, the three strands representing mind, body, and soul. And from that, I wanted to acknowledge how learning and the path forward, learning is going to be holistic, a lifelong process, experiential in nature, rooted in Aboriginal language and cultures, spiritually oriented, a communal activity involving family, community, and elders, and an integration of both Aboriginal and Eurocentric knowledge. Next up is the sage, okay? And the sage represents the purification of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And the sage is contained in that eagle bag that you see in front of you there. So, according to Baptiste, attending to spirit is always present in our learning environments and is simply about creating an environment or space where people bring their whole selves, their stories, their voice, their culture, their symbols, and their spiritual experience to their learning. Next, we have cedar. So, in many Indigenous communities, cedar is burned during prayers, so the smoke will carry the prayers to the Creator. It is intended to drive out negative energies and usher in positive energies. So, from Baptiste's text, I think the importance here is to look at our colonial history. And though there's some negative energy surrounding that, we need to look at how voices have been silenced over time and give voice to people who have been silenced for far too long. When I think about the cedar, I think about the positive energy required to have courage for Indigenous people to, as Baptiste said, live what they believe. The Indigenous Renaissance has shifted the agenda from recrimination to rebirth, from conflict to collaboration, from perceived deficiency to capacity. And finally, we have tobacco. And tobacco is so important, okay? It is literally present at every stage of life, and the smoke is believed to be the pathway to the spirit world. So, tobacco is so fundamental to Indigenous people, and I just want to focus the importance of Aboriginal languages. According to Baptiste, Aboriginal languages are the most significant factor in the restoration, regeneration, and survival of Indigenous knowledge. And finally, this relates to the image that one of my peers used around the seed. And basically the seed that lies beneath the snow lingers on among indigenous peoples, and we will emerge in the spring with the seed nourishing the nation, the languages, the cultures, and our communities with the water of love and care and commitment and self-determination. I'd like to thank you for listening. All the best.